Hi, my name is Kasper Johansen and I'm your YouTube philosopher. This video is about philosophy and the gun, or should I say the philosophy of violence, of might. This is actually not a real gun. This is just some toy gun. It looks a bit real, but it's not. But I have it in this video just as an illustration in order to keep your focus on what we're talking about, the gun. Because what is the gun really? It's an instrument to kill people, to kill an animal or human being. You can use a gun. Police use a gun. The army, soldiers use a gun. Criminals use a gun. And so forth. This is an instrument to kill people. A very effective instrument of killing people. But what is the philosophy behind such a violent act as possessing a gun and using it? I'm a philosopher. I have no use for a gun. What should I do with a gun? Should I shoot a burglar in half, drill him full of holes? The thing about might, the philosophy of might, goes back to ancient Greek philosophy, where you have the idea that might makes right. And the gun is might, but does it also makes things right? When you have the power of violence in your hand. There's a philosophical story that I've been pondering about for years actually, that I would like to share with you. There's this guy. He comes into a possession of a gun. He lives in a country where you can just buy a gun, like United States. You can buy a gun and you can get a permit for owning a gun. Let's say a guy living in the United States. He comes into a possession of a gun. And he starts thinking about, he's kind of like the philosopher. He's a philosopher who gets a gun and ponders about the existential position it puts him in to own a gun, to have it in his possession, this might. And he gets an idea, he gets a philosophical idea. He wants to make this experiment about violence, about might makes right. He goes to the church to seek out a priest. And let's imagine he's alone with this priest, this Christian priest. He suddenly pulls the gun on this priest and say, "My dear preacher man, I hold this gun in my hand that makes me powerful. You can say, might makes right, that I am God right now. You believe in your Christian God, who's a righteous God. Is he in any position to stop me from putting a fucking bullet to your head right now?" He says that to the priest. And the priest, he goes, it's possible if I pray that God would stop this bullet. And for you not to kill me, the priest said. Alright, so he cocks the gun. This philosopher says, alright, let's count down from 3 and hope your God will stop this bullet from not penetrating your skull. Because anything can happen when you shoot somebody in the head. Sometimes a gun malfunction, and that could be a divine intervention, the philosopher thinks. But anyway, he counts down from 3, and the priest has a bullet in the head, unfortunately. And the priest is dead. So the philosopher of the gun, this, let's call him a psycho-philosopher, because that's kind of what he is. He goes around killing people right now. Or does might make right? That's the whole interesting idea. Does might make right? This philosopher is out to prove that a divine creature, a divine independent, will not stop him from killing people, because he feels like God. He feels the power of God, like who decides who dies and who lives. He feels this power by possessing this gun, and he's already killed a priest, this psycho philosopher. So he starts thinking, what kind of maybe the gods do not protect priests anymore. He thinks maybe there's some kind of a new priest or a god that's a godlike person that's more protected by a divine independent. So he figures, all right, I'm gonna kill a movie star, somebody famous who seems to get all the money and all the fame and glory and so forth. So he visits, I don't know, George Clooney or something, or Oprah Winfrey or something. And he does the same thing. Let's skip over how he gets in touch with a famous person, because it might be difficult to come into the house of a famous person. But let's say he succeeds and he stands in front of George Clooney or Oprah Winfrey or whatever and says, do you think anything will stop me from shooting you right now? Some kind of a miracle. And let's say George Clooney, he's probably a fairly smart guy, says, no, you're going to shoot me in the head and there's nothing I can do about it. And the philosopher, psycho-philosopher, he says, that's right, there's nothing you can do about it. And he shoots him, right? Like so. And George Clooney is dead, unfortunately. Now he really feels the power of the gun, this psycho-philosopher. So he thinks to himself, perhaps I should visit the President of the United States in the White House and put a bullet to his head. But first, let him give me all the power, because if I stand in front of him, who has the power over life and death? I do, thinks the psycho-philosopher thinks. So let's skip over how he gets into this White House. But he finds himself somehow in the Oval Office alone with the president. And the security guards, the Secret Service, is outside the door trying to get in. He has somehow barricaded the door in the Oval Office and is alone with the president. And he has the president in front of him, and he asks the president the same thing, like, Mr. fucking President, are you able to stop me, or is any divine power able to stop me from shooting you in the head right now on the count of 3? And the president, let's say he's a fairly smart president. The president, he says to this psycho-philosopher, no, there's nothing I can do right now. You can shoot me in the head and you will succeed. There's nothing that's gonna stop me, no guard's gonna stop me, no nothing. You're gonna shoot me in the head, and afterwards my security guards, they're gonna break in here someday, somehow at some point, and they're gonna shoot you or arrest you. That's what's going to happen. So you can shoot me or not, but it makes no difference, the president says. And all of a sudden the psycho-philosopher thinks, who's this guy? It makes no difference. I control life or death. With this gun, Mr. President, I can shoot you in the head or I cannot. I am might, and might makes right. Right, Mr. President. You hold that power as well, in many respects. And the president says, fairly smart guy, this president. Let's imagine he's a fairly smart guy. And he says to the psychophilosopher. You are nothing but a motherfucker with a gun. You're not special. You're not a unique little snowflake or something. You just have a gun, an instrument of killing. And everybody can kill everybody if they had this. You're nothing special. You changed nothing. You have no might. You actually are powerless. Now the psychophilosopher, he really gets mad and says, alright, I'm gonna count down to 3 and I'm gonna shoot you in the motherfucking head. And the president says, go ahead, I can't stop you. And God doesn't exist and he will not stop you. The gun goes like this, it says click. And the psychophilosopher, he cocks it again, tries to change the magazine in the gun, tries to shoot. Nothing happened. Apparently the gun malfunctions. And the president says, you understand now, you're just another motherfucker with a gun. And the security guard, the Secret Service, they come into the old office and they arrest this psychophilosopher, or shoot him. Whatever happens. Maybe the gun started working. He shoots to the security people and they shoot back and he dies. Whatever. The story is actually over. And you can think about what the moral of this philosophical story is. And I would like to say, from a philosophical perspective, this doesn't make you special. This doesn't give you more might. You just hold an instrument of violence in your hand and you're just another motherfucker with a gun. Of course, police officers can carry guns. Soldiers, that's their job. I wouldn't consider them motherfuckers with a gun. Police should have a gun because who they're up against have guns, so it makes sense. And a soldier's business is war and violence, sanctioned by governments. And of course you can philosophize, is war right from a moral standpoint? Should we avoid war at any cost? But that's a different philosophical discussion. I'm talking about, does this make you mighty? Does this make you might, and does this make you right? No, it doesn't. And that's actually the moral, I think, of this story is. So now you heard this philosophical tale and you can ponder over a few philosophical questions it raises. Like, for instance, why did the gun malfunction at that particular time? Was it divine intervention? What do you think? And the gun itself is it's a symbol in this story. What else could it be a symbol of? Power in general. You can ponder about the meaning of this. And you can also continue pondering over the questions like, does might make right? I believe my views on might makes right is clearly defined in this story and in this video. But what do you think? And also you can question and ponder philosophically, is it morally right to bear arms, to possess a weapon? Is that a good thing morally? Is there anything good about that from a moral philosophical standpoint? You can ponder about these things. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.